Welcome to the Focus on Japan podcast. I'm your host, Lindo.
I am your host, Caleb.
Today we have our occasional guest, Aaron.
Yes, hello.
And we have our special guest today, Jessica Garrity. Is that how I pronounced your last name?
Garrity.
Garrity.
Thanks.
Let's start over.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
Garrity.
you don't have to say my last name, just
All right.
Jessica.
Jessica. Okay,
yeah.
great. So let me introduce Jessica here. You may know her as JessinTokyo, and she's a Kyudou martial artist, which has some similarities to archery. She's a social media influencer who showcases Kyudou online. She's a regular guest on Japanese TV shows and the PR and tourism ambassador for Saitama Prefecture. And she has lived in Japan for over 20 years.
Impressive.
Wow. Before we get into it, I'll jump straight into the stats so that you can know more about her. Right now, across social media, she has 125,000 followers. Her video views are over 12 million, and she's uploaded over 130 videos. So
Pretty impressive to land a lot of ones, right?
Like, you calculated it for me. That's amazing. Thank you.
you're welcome. So thank you very much for joining us today. I do appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's my
absolutely.
pleasure.
Great. So I guess we'll just jump to the point. So first, I mean, you've been in Japan for over 20 years. So what got you interested in Japan and why did you come here?
I met a woman on my first day of university who was a New Zealander and I'm from New Zealand, by the way. It's just a weird accent. New Zealander and Japanese. Her father's Japanese. And she invited me to come visit during the university summer vacation. And that is Japan's winter. New Zealand is opposite season.
Right,
Yeah,
opposite
so it's
hemisphere.
Like
Sure.
summer vacation, and it's really, really long. So she said, just come. So my jika, which is the family home, is in Himeji, which is in Kansai. So I was like, wow, I've never even thought about going to Japan before. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, I knew where it was. However, I'd never thought about visiting before. So, first year of university, super fresh. I went over there. I was studying town planning. So I got a master's in town planning at Auckland University, and so the whole there are trains. I'd never been on a train before.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
no.
Don't
geez.
laugh. Auckland's public transport is like everybody just drives. So,
That
No,
makes
I'm
sense.
from America.
Yeah,
like
yeah, I mean-
exactly how it is.
Bus-
Yeah.
Same in Alaska.
yeah, so bus
Yeah.
or driving. So I was like, train, Shinkansen. It's a bullet train. Look at all this, and it's a city that works, and it's got public transport.
So that was fascinating to you. That wasn't a
for
disadvantage.
me, yeah, that was so cool. And then plus there was convenience stores in the bottom of Mansion, which is an apartment building. So I was like, what is this? Because New Zealand doesn't have that kind of mixed use, or it didn't at the time when I was at university. So I was like, what is this mixed use? There's like convenience stores at the bottom of apartment buildings. It's like crazy. It's mixed up. It's just so cool and interesting. And really high density. So many people, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like, but it's a really efficient city. So it's like, wow. And I landed in Nagoya. I went to Himeji. So this is just the Kansai area that I'm getting this great, cool impression from. So
see.
it kind of, captured my heart. I was like, wow, this is a cool place. And I came back every year during summer vacation until I graduated.
Okay, so it really made an impact on you.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I ventured up to Tokyo, going to different parts each time I
Sure.
came. And I decided I wanted to work in Japan. However, I had no Japanese. So I was like,
I wonder what we're going to do here. Oh, my
what
God.
can I do? It's really straightforward. But I interviewed with Nova, which is a kaiwa, which is a conversational language school, to be an English language teacher. So yeah, I got the
Okay,
job.
so that's how you got your start in Japan when it comes
Yes,
to working
they
here.
set you up with a place to live and a visa, and it's very it's all organized before you go. So it wasn't even working holiday.
Right.
It was just like all set up, and it was my first job as a shakaijin, which is you're an adult. First job and first time to live away from home was in Japan.
Oh, wow.
So kind of
It's a big step.
But,
Yeah.
like every English language teacher, like you just fell in love with the job and you did it for the rest of your life, right? No problems whatsoever? No. Oh, no. Not that. I'm so sorry. I was mistaken.
He seemed a bit too serious there.
So yeah, Nova lasted about 3 months.
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. A little.
I was about to ask how was your experience with them, but fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, thank you for the
so-
visa. Peace.
Right,
What was the
right.
reason for that?
Bye. See
Peace
ya.
out. I wanted different hours, so I just
Okay.
upgraded. I upgraded in a sense that I still had no Japanese 3 months later.
Sure.
Or pretty much zero. I found a job working with children. So international preschool, as they call it here.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was like, I used to work late night shifts, all of the weekends with Nova. And this was like a really sweet 9 till 3 p.m.
Okay.
and weekends off. And I was like, this is awesome
Yeah.
for better pay.
I just step up all around, right? Oh man,
So I
that
was just
sounds
like
great.
jump, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I settled in, and then I changed job again. After I got a little bit more Japanese, I started working for Gaishike, what is it, recruitment company?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah. I've
look at
got
that.
friends who've moved from
Yeah.
English to recruitment companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was working internal HR, so it's recruiting recruiters.
I see.
Recruiting recruiters.
Yeah, I was-
Okay,
I'm
It
a
sounds like a
recruiter.
pyramid scheme now. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I get recruited in the
So is
recruitment
that like
company,
a
and now I get a.
Japanese free version of this, you know? Basically, you didn't need that much
Oh,
language
no,
skill?
no,
or?
this was at a point where it was about 5 years on, so I could speak Japanese.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, I just taught
So,
myself.
wait, so
Really?
for the
Okay.
timeline, how long were you at the international preschool?
Probably a couple of years.
And
I-
then during
I-
that time, you built up your Japanese.
Yes.
Is
So
that
the
correct?
kids, honestly, they're 2 and 3 years old. They themselves don't
Speak
have-
Japanese.
So this is perfect for learning because they speak in context. You're like at a park and they'll be saying stuff at you, and it's all related to what they can see and feel and hear and everything like that. So you get this 2-year-old, 3-year-old, really compact, basic Japanese. If you learn that, I mean, you can have a conversation with them. So their English and their Japanese level is like, anyway. Yeah, very basic,
I see.
very easy to understand. So that's pretty much how I learned, and TV, watching TV and that kind of thing.
Sure.
So you didn't go to any Japanese language school or take
no.
any classes?
No time.
So you mentioned Japanese TV. Did you watch like NHK or did you watch anime or what did you choose to watch?
I watched Itomo, which is a Japanese variety show that was on during the middle of the day, just those times when I was at Nova. My shift started later on in the afternoon, so I found myself watching Japanese TV and just hearing it and remembering. So I learned by listening,
Okay.
which is helpful. So my reading and writing, don't ask about that, but it's not bad. But yes, my speaking and my listening is a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people listening to this, they're going to ask, how in the world did you learn Japanese
It's
within
not
that
that
time
difficult,
frame, right?
yeah,
Especially because you're teaching English, basically. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you learn Japanese teaching English?
Yeah.
Right. So what was the step-by-step process that you took that maybe others can take as well?
Well, you know, when you're living in Japan, it's survival Japanese.
Oh yeah.
If you don't speak Japanese, then you kind of can't do fun stuff, and it's just naturally it's immersion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just immerse yourself.
So at this point, did you live in Tokyo or where were you
Yes,
at?
yes.
Okay.
So I was in
Okay.
Sugamo for a little while, and then I moved to Itabashi, which is in Kitaku in Tokyo. So I was, have to talk to Kuyakusho, which is the city council, about this and that, and I have to talk to, you have to talk to people.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of make do, and it gets better and better, basically. Yeah.
But as you know, there's many, many foreigners here who live here for 10 years or more, and they still can't speak Japanese.
Yeah, but I would
Right.
say that their working environment is English.
Yeah.
If they're using Japanese on the phone, if they're using Japanese daily, they'll get it eventually, I think. I think it's just usage. Like, I'm forgetting English. Like, today I'm having big problems trying to speak into the microphone. Like, no joke. No joke. I speak Japanese on a daily, right? So
Right.
I forget English. Like, it's and everybody laughs at me. How can a native speaker forget English? If you don't use it,
Correct.
you forget it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
this is the thing. You just got to use it and kind of step out of your comfort zone.
Before we continue, I want to dive a little more into the international preschool thing because I know for
Yeah.
those, they require you to speak English, though.
Yes. So I'm
Right.
a native English speaker, and that's
Correct.
all you need.
Correct. But then how do you learn Japanese in that environment?
They speak Japanese to you, the little kids. They
But
don't.
you can't respond back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like what's written in the contract and what you do are not always aligned, right?
It's true.
You know, it
Yeah.
depends. It depends. You know, 80% of the time. But when it's things like they've broken a rule or you need to explain, you know, certain situations, Japanese is fine.
Yep.
And
So you
as
still have
long
the
as the whole
opportunity.
thing is not in Japanese, I mean, you can be speaking English and then say it in Japanese to make sure they understand, or Japanese, English, Japanese to make sure they
I
understand.
see.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to speak Japanese at you. So this 2 and 3-year-olds are great because it's very easy to understand, even if you don't understand Japanese.
Very
Because that will like drag you to the thing they're talking about and like point to it, and like it's very, very in context and hands-on. This is why teaching kids is great.
Yes, that would be better than teaching like adults, for example.
Yes, they would definitely only speak English to you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes
Definitely.
sense. Okay.
So, and your interactions with the teachers as well was also in Japanese?
In Japanese, yeah. So I was the only non-Japanese person on the staff. So this is probably part of the other reason why
I see.
It's a
'cause they will probably
necessity.
speak with you in
yes,
Japanese as well.
yeah.
Or
I
want
mean,
to.
yeah. Some of them could speak English, but mostly they were all Japanese, speaking
Okay.
Japanese. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, so moving on a little bit past that, because one of the topics I'm particularly interested in, and I want to talk about, is your time in the Japanese television industry, which I believe is still continuing up
Yes.
till now, right? This
Yes.
is still something you're doing. So I do believe we've heard about it on like other podcasts and stuff, like how you
Yeah.
got into it. So I want to hear a little bit more about some more specific things. But like specifically, just right off the bat, little icebreaker. Is there any particular genre of Japanese television you find yourself drawn to most? Like, do you really love the like dramas, or do you particularly enjoy doing like the variety shows?
So, in terms of which shows I want to be on.
Right.
Okay. I usually non-Japanese people, they're on variety as a general rule. Drama or drama, you know, soap operas. Sometimes people are extras or they have speaking roles or this kind of thing. But most of all, people are in variety shows, which are like talk shows. For the people who are, you know, they have no idea what a variety TV show is. Yeah, but basically, so I'm from New Zealand, so you'll have a whole group of people who are all from different countries, and they'll be explaining about, you know, their particular country in Japanese. Yeah, so that's, I mean, if I could choose, I'd want to do a variety.
You want to do variety? Okay. Yeah.
I'd want to do a lot of different types of things.
Sure.
However, the chance of doing that, it's not it's not what I want, but what jobs come in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really get to choose, unfortunately. It's just take what you're given kind of thing.
No.
So,
I get that for sure, because I was very curious, because like when I heard that you were doing variety stuff and were getting regular roles on variety shows, I'm like, I gotta talk to this girl because I wanted to get on variety shows for like ever. I'd love to have a regular role on there.
Everybody does.
But I get, but
It's very competitive.
it's very competitive. But I'm I'm also reasonably successful. Like I starred in like large like Yofuku no Ayama TV commercials, like nationwide
nice.
things.
Right.
I've been on dramas. I had a I was the murder victim on an episode of Kasoken no Hona. So all like
Wow.
so there's like these really exciting opportunities that I had, and it's just kind of like the opposite side.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's bridge the gap, man. I'll tow you the rope. Let's help each other out.
Yeah, so this kind of one, CM, which is commercials and this
Yeah.
kind of thing, and being somebody in drama is really, really different to
Yeah.
variety.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It depends on the agency that you're
Sh-
signed with
You-
as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, I was like, I've never run into you at an audition ever. I've never seen you on a set ever, but you're incredibly successful. So, yeah, that's like big. You're like, okay, my words, incredibly
You're
successful.
so nice, thank you.
No, so yeah, but this is great. So it's just incredibly interesting to me specifically.
So, you know, many people know you for your Kyudo.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how did you get started in Kyudo?
So I got started in Kyudo. One day I happened upon it at a park. I was with my my eldest child, and we were visiting for the cherry blossoms. And they had a dojo, so the place where they shoot in the park. And you could kind of see in, which is kind of rare. Usually it's shut off and it's in a separate place where the public cannot see. So this is cool, and I had never seen anything like this before. I'd seen archery, Western archery, you know, Olympic recurve, this kind of thing. However, this was very different. Everybody was moving super slow, and this was a long time ago. It was maybe 13 or so years ago. It was the first time I saw it.
Okay.
And I was like,
Did
wow.
you think it
this
was
is-
archery?
Yeah, like spellbound. I had no idea what it was because these bows, they're like so extra and tall and big, and everyone is moving super slow. So I felt really, I don't know, like relaxed, and it was really aesthetic and really calming to watch. So I searched it up, and I found out the name is Kyudou. And Kyu is the name of the bow, and Do is martial art. So I thought, oh, this is really cool. And this is 13 years ago. Internet homepages, websites, and information on learning Kyudo were so bad in Japan. I mean, like Japanese websites, honestly,
They're
anyway.
terrible
This is the country of the
regardless.
fax machine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Country of the fax machine. Look at that.
yeah. Who uses
Imagine that.
fax
Yeah.
machine?
All the websites still look like they're in like 1998. Just like,
Seriously.
it can be tough.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
the future of the 80s here, basically.
Yeah, so websites,
another way to put
honestly, yeah, it was non-existent, and I had big problems. I asked a lot of people. In the end, though, 6 years ago, I got a connection to a beginner's course in Saitama, and that's where my entrance to Kyudo was. So after I'd finished having kids, I have 3 kids, pregnant kid,
Nope.
pregnant kid, pregnant kid.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
お疲れ様です。
After all that was kind of calmed down, you can't really be pregnant and do that.
Oh,
Because you
I
kind of
can't even agree because I don't even know what it's like. So it's gonna sound weird if I say, "Yup."
I'm just
that's
trying to
right.
imagine the logistics,
Understood.
like with the tummy and the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the timing worked out really good, and I started, and yeah, it's been nice, fun, and really interesting.
So when you initially started, did you think that you were going to post it on social media?
I was I really sucked, so I was, and when you're a beginner, but I thought, I'll post it up. Most of my feed was all my work, so it was TV work, and it's just
Sure, yeah.
Ah, okay.
sort of like boring
they're replenished with the
selfies and
Kyudo
look
now.
at the show that I'm on today and this kind of thing. So that's fine. However, and watch me on TV. But yeah, I realized after I posted a video of me shooting that people were like, "What is this?"
Were you still a beginner at that time?
Sorry.
Were you still a beginner at that time
Yes.
when you made the first?
Yes. So I thought, I just posted up. I started Kyudo. So this is me, not in the Kyudo uniform, just on the first day. This is the first day of me. And everyone went crazy. So I was kind of, Japanese people, non-Japanese people, they were just like, okay, this is cool. And I got a really big reaction from that. So I was
What
like,
type of response did you get?
like really positive. Because they're like, in Japanese they say there's a gap, which is like, okay, this is not what we expected from you. Kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Is
like,
it only because you were a foreigner? Or other
because
aspects?
until now it had been all kind of surface level and just all about my work and like my daily, my kids and this kind of thing I'd post up. And suddenly you have this, like a 90-degree, 180 that's like really serious martial art, really calm, really. I don't know, how can we say, it's got class. And here's me in my high heels and my curly hair and I'm on TV and look at me kind of thing. It was a really big difference.
Oh, I see.
So
So these
people-
were the followers who were already following you.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
not like people at
Yes.
the dojo who saw you for the first time.
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
So I got a great reaction and then I decided I would post now and then about it. Yeah.
I see.
That's good. And and also, I think we've heard you talk about before. There's a difference between like what you wear in the dojo, but also like actual martial art, or like traditional clothing. Can you talk about just like the difference there a little bit for our listeners at home?
Yeah, so I don't know, traditional clothing in Japan is kimono. And that just means thing to wear. So actually kimono is pretty broad. And the thing that we wear for martial arts is the uniform. So you need to wear it, otherwise they don't let you in.
It's probably for the best. Right?
It's a
to
requirement.
make it to make it more confusing, we wear kimono when we do Kyudo sometimes as well. The top part is kimono.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
think I've seen
depending
photos
on
like
the
that.
season or what you're going to do?
If
that day?
it's a grading and this kind of thing, the formality.
Okay. I see.
So it's more formal.
Oh, so it's your like the tuxedo version of the Kyudo uniform. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So the difference between the two is with the martial arts, it's a requirement to wear that uniform.
Yes.
Versus like kimonos or yukatas or anything else,
Yes.
it's more of a choice.
It's a personal choice and it's up to you. However, for martial arts, you need to. It's a requirement.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
No, I like
That's
that.
really
quite-
cool.
So for you, so you did mention it's a choice. Have you worn traditional Japanese clothing?
Yes.
Okay. And how was the response from both Japanese and foreigners?
Kimono, the response has been pretty positive, actually. So I don't post kimono, like full kimono with obi and that kind of thing a lot. I don't post that a lot, but the response is very positive from Japanese people. They love when you wear kimono or any traditional dress, actually. Yeah.
What would be examples of other ones?
Hitatare, which is a type of samurai wear. And I'll send you a photo. And suikan, which is kariginu, is also, I have them on my Instagram feed, but they're worn on horseback when they used to hunt in Heian period and this kind of thing.
Super
Beautiful.
cool. And you own those? Just like chilling in your apartment?
I have a hitatare. I have one, which is I use for horseback archery. But yeah, there's just so much. It's really rich. Like clothing, garment culture is really interesting in Japan. So it's not just kimono, for men and women or yukata. There's a really big historic background, and yeah, that kind of thing is really sort of something that I like to research on and look into. So sometimes I buy stuff, but it's a bit expensive. Yeah.
Your husband's just like going through the credit cards. Honey, do you want to explain?
Spangle is like crazy stuff. Yeah. I do wear it though, so
there you go.
it's being used.
It's and if it's like for Instagram, it's like tax write-off, right? Just like boom,
There you go.
knock that bad boy right
Actually,
off.
that's a really good idea.
If you're not doing that, you
special, too.
absolutely should. It's like, and this is a social media company expense. Goodbye, writing you off.
There you go.
So the response from Japanese.
Right, is very
good.
positive, right?
Okay. What about from foreigners? On social. Well, you know what? Let's distinguish it. What about from foreigners who actually see you in person and know you?
They think that it's nice and they don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
They-
foreigners online.
Foreigners online who don't know me and
Yes.
don't know that I've lived in Japan for 20 years
Yes.
and don't know that I do martial arts. So
well, I mean, you do have some information on your Instagram.
the
right?
biggest kind of pushback I get is when I post about Kyudo wearing my uniform. So that's I get like you're dressed up as a ninja or you're socially you're culturally appropriating.
Yeah.
I want to write back like this is my uniform. This is my like I got to wear it or they don't let me practice. But yeah, just so it's a lot of pushback. It doesn't come when I'm wearing traditional dress. It's more like just a regular Kyudo uniform. For some
That's
reason, it
interesting.
upsets people. Yeah,
When you're
yeah.
wearing the
They're like,
mandatory clothing.
This is cosplay 150%. I'm like, bro, this is my uniform. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's not cosplay.
Yeah.
I'm not a character. I'm just practicing martial art. Yeah. So it's that understanding. They don't have the background, and I realize, there's no use replying back to them or trying to, because they don't know the backstory. It's just what you can see from that clip. And this is the thing with social media is that it doesn't give you all my background. If they want to go back through the feed and look around and stuff, but they don't. So
They're interested in calling out what they think is cultural appropriation, not in like doing even a small modicum of research.
I mean, but that's when you look at it that way, it's just a bite-sized piece that they have, and
Right.
that's the impression that they get. So I
Correct.
mean, you kind of can't do much about that.
What would be your response if they actually did look into your backstory and so that you've been here for so long and
Yeah.
you've actually are practicing the art
Yeah.
and they still make those comments?
Then I'm a weeb.
Well, I mean, are
That's
they
how you
wrong though?
review yourself?
Like,
No, I don't, because so I researched the word weeb because it didn't exist when I came to Japan.
Okay.
So I was like, weeb, Urban Dictionary, weeb. When was it invented? After I came to Japan. So I was like, I mean weeb. So that's what I get called usually. So I'm like,
what
dude,
was
I'm
the-
like an old lady with 3 kids living here, like chilling out, having a family and stuff. I'm not a weeb. But yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of my image for younger people or people who like anime. No offense, anime is great, but it's not what drew me
sure.
here.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Big same. So no, I find that really interesting because like cultural appropriation, like they're legitimate cases, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Yes.
things are being stolen. But
Yes.
especially I had a very similar situation where I earned my hakama in Aikido, and like that is something.
You're so cool.
Oh, no. You're so cool. Okay, like Kyudo is insanely good, But yeah, so I earned my hakama on Aikido, and I'm like,
すごい。
post pictures of this stuff, and I get some comments just like, dude, you're such a weeb, exactly. Or like, you shouldn't take that. You're white. You have no business wearing a hakama. I'm like, dog, I earned this. Do you understand? You can't just, well, you can go buy one, but
yeah.
like, like this is a mark of
Yes.
like achievement.
Right.
That is not appropriation in any way, and the same is true for Kyudou and stuff as well.
It's just a lack of awareness and
Yeah,
understanding.
exactly
I think.
right.
Yeah,
No,
and if you
100%.
know this, then you don't get upset about it.
So yeah, no, it's but I can say that I can definitely relate to those sorts of
Wow,
like
we're
negative
so
comments. And
connected.
stuff. Well, like I was saying before the show started, I was just like, you and I, we've got
Vibing.
insanely similar
Yeah.
backgrounds over here, super vibing.
Oh my gosh.
That's
We could be
fantastic.
brother and sister.
Oh, I mean, honestly, like look at that diamond-shaped face, like
There you go.
slightly off-color hair, but the perfect teeth, just twinsies over
Yeah.
here all the
Maybe
way.
so. Maybe so.
There you go. Get that jawline shot.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So for people who you mentioned that Kyudo is a bit slow.
Yeah.
Right. So what would be the main difference between Kyudo and archery?
So there are many. The equipment obviously is very different. The bow is a yumi, which is asymmetric. So the top limb is longer than the bottom limb. And for example, in recurve, there are many types of archery. Longbow archery, Olympic recurve, bare bow. Depends what type of archery you're talking about. But if it's just regular recurve, it's an asymmetric bow. So the handle is in the middle of the curve for Olympic archery. So the equipment's all different. We put the arrow on opposite sides, close to us or far away from us. The drawer is very different. So technical aspects of it are very, very different. And we don't shoot for points as such. So there's no like bullseye. Everyone's like bullseye. Like no, it's just a hit. So it's either hit or no hit.
Okay.
And the distance is always set. Yeah,
okay,
28.
I didn't know that. Super
Yes. So it's just either on or off.
Okay.
And the distance is 28 meters, and it's set at 28 meters. There is long distance, which is 60 meters. Yeah. However, I mean that's fun though.
I'm sure it is. It sounds like it'd be a blast.
Yeah. But 28 meters, and that's your standard, and it doesn't change. This is the thing. Yeah. So
Okay.
there are quite a few differences. I've made a video on my YouTube, and I got started, and it didn't stop, and the video was so long, and like, honestly, I took forever. But there are so many similarities too, though. Yeah. When I did bare bow.
Have you tried archery?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask.
So I started. I do field archery, which is outdoors.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've taken actually my yumi, the Japanese one, to the field archery place, and I've used that, and also I use a regular recurve bow, because everyone was like, the archery community on social media is really awesome, and they're very welcoming and very kind, and they're like, you gotta try something. Like in Japan, the archery population, not Kyudo, the archery population is so small,
I'm sure. Yeah.
tiny, and the places where you can do it are just like hardly any. Because Kyudo is like the thing here. There are over 1,000 dojos all over Japan, but places to do archery.
So it's not
like-
dying. Is that correct?
Kyudo?
I mean,
No.
you said over 1,000 dojos
Yes.
for Kyudo, right?
Yes.
So is it
Well, you see
increasing
the kids
or?
walking
Yeah,
trains
I
and
can't
stuff.
go a
Yeah,
week
no,
without seeing the kids on the train. Yeah.
So the thing
Correct,
is,
but I don't know the data for it. So that's what I'm
So
saying, is it-
140,000 is the population. The thing is that 75% is students. So between middle school, high school, university, and the problem is that they graduate, and the
Yeah, that's a big
population
problem, yeah.
that just drops off because as soon as you're a Japanese OL or salariman, you got no time. When do you do it? So you have this massive drop off. But you have these new babies coming, these new middle schoolers, and they're doing for bukatsu, which is their club activities. So the population is constantly renewing itself. Every 3 years, every 4 years. They're just like, the 75% of kids.
I see.
Yeah, so it is, this younger generation is, there's a lot. The adult population is very small.
Interesting. So how do they market? I remember you were in an interview before, and you were saying how some dojos are very closed off.
Yes.
Right. So how? I mean, and you also mentioned that there's many different types of dojos.
Right.
Right. So can you explain like how that's, the whole concept of that? Which ones are more common? Which ones are more popular? And how people could get into a dojo themselves?
So for Kyudo, right?
Yes, for
Yeah.
Kyudo.
So Kyudo is tricky because they only do a beginner course, which you have to take part in once a year.
That's so narrow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everyone volunteers. The teachers volunteer. So if I was going to be a volunteer, I'd be like, yeah, once a year is fine for me. I'm just kidding. And yeah, so I mean, I understand where they're coming from. Once a year. And it runs for a couple of weeks. The problem is that the amount of numbers are very limited. You have to have sort of one-on-one, a teacher teaching you or a couple of people, very small group. So you have about 15 or 20 max, and you have like 150 people applying to join. It's so popular, and these are all adults. So this is like so popular. This is my dojo in particular, 150 people to like 15 spaces. So people wait years to start, right? And then
you mentioned before that the adults don't have the time, and now your specific dojo, right? Is it just because of your social media influence? That's
no,
why?
no, it's not.
We'll ascribe all of it to her.
It's
Absolutely.
not related to me.
It's not
but you'll get housewives or stay-at-home moms, and you'll have they'll be older. So I started when I was 38. Yeah, so you're at that later stage in life. You won't have these people who have just started working for a Japanese company or anything like that. No time off. So you'll have people who have spare time. You'll get 60, 70, 80-year-olds who want to start.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what it is.
Is it mainly male or females?
Both, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when you're retired and you got time, right? Why not?
It's a really good mix. It's not male or female heavy at all.
Okay.
It's not. Like Naginata, I do Naginata as well. It's very female heavy.
Naginata, it's like the spear fighting, right?
Yeah, it's...
no, I mean, not a spear, but spear-esque weapon, right?
Yes, it's a pole arm.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's very woman-centric. It's got a lot of women. So in relation, Kyudo is very, like, balanced. Yeah.
So someone who's interested in... Okay, let's break it down. So there will be tourists who will be coming to Japan.
Yes.
Obviously, they're already here.
Yeah.
Right? So if they want to join in, how are they able to do that?
It's very, very difficult to find somewhere. You can't just go to a regular public dojo and be like, hey, can I try? So that's very tricky. So I started a place where people without Japanese can come and try Kyudo if they want to, together with my senpai. So that's like my friend who was the one who introduced me to Kyudo originally.
Okay.
Oh, really?
6 years ago. Yeah. So he
Okay.
has a teaching qualification, a coaching qualification for Kyudo, and we work together. So he's the Japanese side, I'm the English side, and we run it once a week. And in 4 years, we've had about 2,200 people.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really
Now,
cool.
do you charge for this? Like,
Yes, we charge.
No, I was gonna say you certainly should be.
We charge.
Just raking it in. Just
It's not. Airbnb is very expensive. There are
Sure.
a couple of places where you can do it, but it's not that expensive. Yeah, like it's affordable. And we got an award recently for tourism.
Oh, congratulations.
really?
Yeah, from the Japanese government
Very
to
nice.
say like
Amazing.
good job, and because there aren't many places that will let you try.
Sure.
Right.
So, Lindo, link in the description below.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Okay, I've been asking a lot of questions.
No,
so
you-
go.
you-
I want to sign up for this. I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm really
Please come.
excited.
Please
So
come.
I'm also curious about, you said you do horseback. Or
Oh,
I was gonna ask about that because you
Tell
said
us a
like
little bit about
Okay,
that. How'd you get
okay,
started in that?
so,
What's
yes.
how do we get
Yes.
started in that?
I mean, anybody can do it. And I started just because the pandemic, the dojo was shut. So lots of dojos shut. And this is outdoors, you're horse riding. And there is a new type of horseback archery called sports yabusame. Yabusame is the traditional one that they do at Jinja, which is a Shinto shrine. And it's a prayer. So this kind of one is very, you have to be trained for quite a while before they allow you to ride on the horse even. But sports yabusame takes Japanese horses, indigenous horses. They're called kisouma. So very small, pony-sized. And they're the horses that samurai used to ride on battle with armor and stuff on. So they're very stocky. They can do about 40 kilometers an hour. So
Okay.
they're not that slow.
Okay.
And you use the traditional horse tack. Japanese horse tack is very different to Western or British. And then you jump on, and
How's
you're going
it
to
different?
learn. Okay. How much time do you have?
Just
we
getting
got
into all the
we got
nitty gritty
time, right?
details.
It's easiest to show photos, but the kurao or the saddle is made of wood,
Okay.
whereas
Wait,
the
wooden saddle?
Yes.
You
And it's
put
so comfortable, y'all.
Do you have
Really?
photos of you with it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
We'll
on
probably
my feed, yeah. The
be showing those right now, yeah, so.
The stirrups for Western types of horse riding, we know we put our feet in and they kind of come straight out. Japanese one is shaped like a slipper, like a big slipper. Yeah, it's very stable, very wide, because you don't sit down in the saddle while you're shooting. You leave a little space there, so your body acts as the suspension while the horse is galloping, so that you can keep it flat while you want to shoot. Yeah, so it's very different. But sports Yabusame is open and available to everybody, and there are places. I've written articles for martial arts magazines that are online that have instruction in English, like 3-day intensive courses and this kind of thing. You can learn, and everybody's okay to learn, and you can try it if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is far more accessible to like tourists and people of that
This
nature,
kind of
right?
thing is accessible to tourists. Actually, yeah, now that you say it, probably more than Kyudou.
Yeah, I would imagine just based on what you were saying,
Yeah.
that absolutely seems to be the case.
Yeah, if you search up sports Yabusame or Yabusame experience online, you'll find the places where you can do it.
I love the discrepancy. They're like, oh, just Kyudou by yourself standing on the ground? Absolutely not. Get out of here. Oh, you want to do it from a horse? Yeah, we'll get you right up there, pal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not,
Here, I'll give you a
it's not
boost.
dangerous or difficult.
It
But
seems much more challenging.
I would imagine.
But for someone that can use a bow already, and I know how to ride horses,
Correct, but I'm saying for the beginner, right? What would you
they
recommend
will let you
for
do
that?
it on the first day, though.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
And walking, you're not going to be like,
You're not galloping at 40 kilometers going in.
but it's enough, right? And then after a couple of months, you'll be able to do it. So, yeah,
That's really awesome.
That's pretty
That
cool.
sounds like a lot of fun.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I would like to know more about your dojo specifically.
Yeah.
Just to confirm, is this a dojo that you and your senpai built up, or is it one that you had already been in when you started?
So this, the facility that we use is in Akabane, which is in one part of Tokyo. And the dojo has a booking system where anybody can book, and
Online?
you can reserve the for Japanese people who live in the area. They can make a specific how can we say, we become a group, and so we have a group booking system there. It's a lottery, so we as a group, as a dojo, we try to get as many sessions as we can. Usually it's once a week, so we get to use this beautiful indoor facility. It's a shared facility. So other Kyudo groups come and use it too. So once a week, we'll have a practice session, and people will DM us via Instagram or Facebook, and they'll say, hey, I want to learn. I'll send them all the information and the dates, and they just choose one. And then if they're interested and they want to keep going, there's no like minimum. I just want to try once. That's fine. I just want to take photos and videos. That's fine. I gotta leave to go back to my country. That's fine. I want to continue. I'm living in Japan. Like these kind of people, I want to help.
Correct.
So I introduce them to. You want to be in the area where you're living or you're working, so that you can continue to, and you can grade. So I find where they're living. Find the dojo, find the beginner's course information, and get them in there as fast as possible.
So is this a business that you have?
Yeah, because that seems like a lot of work to do, just like out of the kindness of your heart for like
It's the
2,000 plus people,
yeah,
right?
No, it's what it's
Because
like.
it seems like it's broken down to two different sections, right? It's the tourists who come here and they're like, I just want to go for a day or so. And then there's the foreigners who actually live here.
Yeah.
And then you're helping them not get into your dojo, but you're helping the other dojos.
Yeah, if
So
they're
do they
living-
give you like a cut?
No. So
She already quit the was
Yeah.
headhunting job, right? So no.
but that is one small part of it. The other part are all Japanese people. So we have experienced.
So three then. Yeah.
Yes, so we have experienced people. There are people who, like I mentioned, they started as students. 35 years, they haven't done Kyudo, but hey, I have time, I want to start again. Jumping into the regular dojo is a bit scary for me. Can I just come to your once a week session? We rent equipment. So, buying all the stuff up front and you don't know if you're going to continue is a little bit risky. Yeah, it's a bit, everyone's unsure. So they come once a week, get into it. Okay, I want to continue. And as Japanese people, they go off by themselves and they'll find their local place and join, and they'll still come back and visit us sometimes. There are other people who have interpersonal, it's their own dojo is a little bit, it's a little bit awkward sometimes. There are teachers who come and try to teach them things that they don't want to be taught, or they just want to be free and do their own shooting and stuff and practice. So they come to us.
When you say that some of the students go to the, is the proper term senpai for all of the dojos, like the leaders?
It depends. If they have if their instructor is sensei,
Okay. Okay.
if they're just the elder, then yeah, senpai.
Yeah, sensei. So when the sensei tries to teach this, what the student claims is not necessary, for example, is that due to the sensei trying to teach the proper way of Kyudo?
It depends. There's a lot of intricacies, and there are so many different ways that it happens. But basically, they have a attention that they don't want, and that's one of the other reasons that they come. So they just want to be left alone to chill out, and maybe they want to take photos and videos. That kind of thing is difficult in regular Japanese dojos. Taking photos and videos is really necessary to help your technique. You can see what you look like when you're shooting, and the way you look is part of the way that we're graded. So it's very important, but it's kind of frowned upon in some dojos. So they come to us in the weekend. Usually once a week on a Saturday, we're doing the practice sessions, and they video themselves and that kind of thing. So there are many different types of Japanese practitioners, and then we have tourists and also non-Japanese people who live in Japan. So we got a wide range of people, and it's always a mix.
It seems like you're super busy.
Yeah.
How is it
Yeah,
not
like,
a business?
I
How are
was
you
ha-
not like making money from this?
No, it's not it's not a business. So
No, I
basically,
know, I understand that. But I'm saying, how is it? Okay, why is it not a business?
That's
okay.
probably the better
Yeah.
question,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
So unlike other martial arts, it's not really allowed
What's not allowed?
socially. It's not acceptable to make money from.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So,
Okay.
if you were to set this up as just a tourist thing alone, it would be very taboo, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not really look good. Not a good look.
Because I was going to say, it seems like there's a nice gap in the market. Like, I should start buying up some real estate and opening Kyudo dojos for people to rent out. But
Yeah, I mean, you
if
need to
there's
be
that much demand,
qualified, which
right.
is one thing, and it takes a good 20 years or so.
oh, no, I don't personally want to be qualified. I just want to own the dojo and then rent it to someone who is qualified.
Yeah, so there are people doing Airbnbs who do that, but it's very few. So this is probably the reason why there are not that many places that do it.
That makes a lot of sense.
You said there's a long waiting list, so there's clearly a demand. Going back to your
Yep,
point.
Yep.
So
Many people want to try it, but the thing is, not a high percentage, but some of them just want to try once.
Sure.
And it's like, how do you know? Like, you're joining this beginner's class at a standard dojo, and everyone is expecting you to like stay there forever for the rest of your life. But what if you don't like it? Like,
I know that's another part of Japanese culture,
much
to my
pressure.
understanding, is that Japanese people take their hobbies like to the max.
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
don't do a hobby just like a little bit. You don't do it once on the weekend.
Yeah, you're
like
like-
it becomes your whole like waking life when you're not at
This is
work,
true,
right?
this is true.
Yeah, exactly right.
it's
So
like the
of cour-
way of X hobby.
Exactly right. So if you're
Yeah.
going to do Kyudo, like, no, of course, you're one of us now. You're going to do Kyudo every day. You're
Yeah.
going to think about Kyudo when you're at work. You're going to think about it while you're raising your kids. That's it.
So I got a little bit of pushback actually now that you say that when I started the horseback archery.
Really?
They're like, you started that as well, and then start nugging at that. Oh, you're doing that too. It's like, and I look on my Instagram. It's like tameshigiri, cutting, and iaido, and it's like this.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
You're not allowed to have multiple interests.
Basically,
Yeah.
it depends on the teacher, but I get, you do a lot of stuff. It's like,
so passive aggressive. Oh my God.
right? Yeah.
You get the
I
same-
know they're jealous. They're just jealous.
I can't say for sure, but I think so,
But
honestly.
a good student will just be doing their one thing. In martial arts, they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you get the same comments from foreigners? Like you do?
No, I get,
Tunisia?
cool.
Cool, do more.
Yeah, you need to try kendo, and I'm like, yeah. But basically, yeah. So that's quite a cultural difference.
I see.
So I've got a question for you. When it comes to all of this that you're doing, what would you tell tourists that are coming into Japan first time? They are excited to try a martial arts, archery, something.
Yes.
You know, what would you tell them?
Depends what you like, how much time you have, and where you're going to be based. The Japanese government has started a new website, and it's called budotourism.com. And you can go there, and there are places where you can visit all throughout Japan, all different types of martial arts, and they will accept drop-ins and experiences you can go and try. There are a couple of Kyudo ones there. Our dojo should be listed there, but there's Kendo, Naginata, there's so many different types of things, and they have an Instagram account too.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to be producing some content for them, secret.
It's super secret. Do we need to cut that out?
No, you can keep it in, but they're going to be putting a little bit more effort into their social media because they see how much, how people are quite interested in trying martial arts at the in the country where they've originated from. So that's really cool. So I think if you're not sure what you want to do but you want to try something, I mean, you can DM me anytime on Instagram or whatever. I get a lot of DMs just saying, do you know where I can try such and such, if it's not on that website. But also it depends on your Japanese level as well.
Sure, yeah.
Some places they offer English assistance. Airbnb is good, but just be aware that you'll pay through the nose. It'll be expensive, but it'll be nice though, because it'll be a really good compact experience, and it'll be authentic and nice, I'm sure. Just check the reviews and that kind of thing.
Sure. And I imagine most people traveling to Japan for like a long holiday probably going to be fine paying a little extra to get like that authentic experience, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm curious about your current time management and how you expect to have that set in the future.
Second that question.
The reason is because you
Honestly.
mentioned two things. You mentioned that there's a long waiting list for Kyudo. Then you mentioned that, for people to DM you and you'll help them, right? You're also a social media influencer, so day by day you're getting more and more popular, and thus more and more DMs every week or month, right?
Yeah, DMs are blowing up.
Exactly. So
You hear that, fellas? Oh no, sorry.
Slide it.
how do you plan to manage this all? Because you're not getting paid for it either.
No, I'm not
And
getting
you're not
paid
going
for
to
it.
build your own dojo, right? And charge people for it. So
No, that's not.
how are you going to manage this as you continue to gain and rise in popularity?
Good question. I haven't really thought about it because it's been really organic until now, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, as I can, I've started subscriber services via Instagram. They've come to Japan to Twitter, X. I'm still waiting, and I have a Patreon. So the people that are on those sites and using those facilities will get my time the most. I'll reply back, and anything they want to know, I'll be there to help them out. However,
Would that be frowned upon?
No,
You're using
because I'm
Patreon.
not teaching anybody online or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just sort of like Kyudo how-tos, and it's the same as my Instagram, but a little bit deeper. It's more of a deep dive, different weapons, this kind of thing. So actually I have a big interest other than just Kyudo.
Sure.
So there's a lot of different traditional, cultural sort of things that are on there. But yeah, so I put a priority for the people who are, making time to pay to support my content.
Correct.
And then it's basically whenever I have time. So I wake up about 5.
Whoa.
and then-
Hold up. I'm so sorry. You wake up at 5?
Yeah, but if you have kids, you have to feed them breakfast. So it's like
You're talking me out of it actively here. I was like, well, no, maybe I won't contribute to the proliferation of the human race. I don't want to wake up at 5.
Don't get me started on the birth rate. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a different conversation.
But yeah, so I just wake up early and I will do what I need to do. Try to post once a week on my regular social media.
Sure.
But that takes research and, fact checking and due diligence, and you don't want to put out false information, that kind of thing. Yeah. So the research takes the longest. I go through DMs at that time. And it's like, hi, are you married?
Yeah.
You get
Saw
many
that
of
one
those?
coming.
Honestly, I'm just like, dude, I'm old enough to be your mom. And I have 3 kids, so leave me alone.
Once you've made the sale, stop selling. You're not going to bat them off like that, man. I'm telling you.
I filter through and I find usually people send very serious and very good. I'm going to be coming at this time. I want to do this. Can you help me? Or I love to start Kyudo. I'm in this country. And Kyudo's worldwide.
Sure.
So I'll just get the links, send the links off, International Kyudo Federation, talk to this person. And yeah, it does take time for each individual, but I get the most amazing photos. I started Kyudo today, thanks to you. And
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
that's
I,
special. That's awesome.
I send used equipment as well to people because it's difficult to get different gloves. It's made of deer skin. A craftsperson makes it. Send it over to Germany. I got my glove. Thank you so much. Like, I love this, man. So it's all just
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, I'm kind of one of those warm fuzzy, getting warm fuzzies and helping people kind of motivates me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those sort of people. So it's not like how much money can I make, which my husband really, he tells me off about it. He's like, how much money are you getting? I don't know. No, this is for free. And I'm,
Oh my god!
Because
Yeah.
some people
yeah.
will say that through this, traveler, and not just tourists or travelers, but even residents here would be taking advantage of you. That's what some people would claim.
I didn't think about that really, but people up until now, in my experience so far, everybody's been very good. Yeah, so I haven't really been taken advantage of, and
And
yeah,
That's good though.
Like it just seems like you've cultivated like this really like passionate community surrounding Kyudo. So of course, like there aren't going to be people there with like ulterior motives or things like that. I mean, of course they exist, okay,
I'm
but
sure they do.
generally it seems like the people who are reaching out to you seem to be more
very,
genuinely passionate
yes,
about
very
it.
genuine and very nice. So I want to help them out, and it's just finding that entrance and then sending them a couple of links, and they go and do the rest themselves. I'm not like doing everything, you know. They just need to point in the right, be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you point them in the right direction, if that dojo has a waiting list and then the other dojo has a waiting list, right? Then what can they do?
So if they're in Tokyo, they can come to me and come and learn. But if they're
Okay.
not, then basically they're in a cycle of applying and waiting.
I see.
Yeah.
And what is the reason why your dojo doesn't have a long waiting list?
It kind of does. So we have first timer tourism spots, people who are from out of Japan, people who live in Japan. It's the first time to try. We can only teach 2 or 3 people at a session.
Correct.
So we're booked kind of a month in advance now. So they put our dojo up on NHK World. So we did a documentary.
I was about to ask you about that as well. Yeah.
Because of this. Damn NHK World. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, because of this, people seeing it, they're, you know, I'm coming to Japan next month. I want to book with you in advance.
Correct.
So because of this and this really positive, you know, effect, it's booked out, basically.
And so that's the part I don't fully understand. It is booked out, and the reason why you cannot have another dojo is because
There's not enough time because it's just me and him, and he's a full-time Japanese salaryman, and I'm
okay.
Oh,
If you had more staff, though, would it be
yes,
fine?
yes,
It's not looked down upon.
yes, no,
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like a I don't know, snake eating its own tail kind of
Yes,
issue thing, right?
definitely.
Where if they would just
We're
allow
stuck.
if they let you make money off it and that wasn't culturally taboo, there'd be more dojos open. You'd grow the number of
Yeah,
people doing it. There
definitely,
wouldn't be any
definitely.
waiting lists.
Yeah.
People are making more money.
Yeah.
Instead of having to be a salaryman, he can just teach Kyudo all day.
yeah.
Like-
the thing is with the Budo, especially karate and that kind of thing are different because
Sure.
they become Olympic sports. So I think it's the difference between sport and martial art. The martial art is basically, I guess that's why it's frowned upon.
Can you explain what is the difference between martial arts and sport?
Well, Olympic event
Okay.
and non-Olympic event. So but you know, Kyudo, there's a very blurred line between sport and martial art. People say it's both, actually.
Yeah.
So betterment of yourself, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And teaching others, giving yourself, volunteering. This is all it is. Don't expect to get paid to teach Kyudo. So actually, we have this thing on Twitter X at the moment. A couple of people, Japanese, who are giving online instruction for, you know, that kids pay for it,
Okay.
and it's become quite I think it's good. I think it's really bad. In the Japanese Kyudo community, it's quite people are up in
Really
arms about.
divisive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you trying to make money off Kyudo? And I'm kind of like, I'm not one way or the other. These kids have their own teacher, but they want extra. And the people who are teaching have been, you know, national team champions and this kind of thing. So they're very good. So yeah, sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent.
No,
but
it's great.
It is in the Japanese community, that sphere of Kyudo, it's talked about a lot as well. Like
see.
it should be a business, or you should be able to make money from it. Why can't we make money from it? Kind of thing. People are arguing about it.
Well, one of the things I find really kind of unfortunate about our position here as foreigners is because we can have an opinion like this that I think is pretty correct, but we can't really be at the forefront of like changing the culture here in Japan.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
if I'm
That's
just
not
like, hey,
gonna
why don't
happen.
you do it? Why don't you be the trendsetter? Like, well, I'm from New Zealand, so probably not gonna be the play if I had to guess.
No.
So, no, that is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
you know, so I figure someone's got to do it at some point, right? Like,
Well, the thing is, it's not really accepted within the organizational structure.
you gotta push to get it accepted as an Olympic event, and boom, done.
Yeah, good point. But maybe not, because archery is in there already, you know. So
Yeah, but you
There's
know
always
better
new
than anyone. There's
sports.
clear
Yeah.
different. But now I
It's
can
gonna
also
take
see
some
that.
time, if
yeah, I mean,
anything.
it's
Yeah.
minor
Gonna take
on a
time.
world scale. It's minor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
I get
sense.
that. But that'd be super cool. That would be,
Definitely.
That'd be very interesting.
You know, we talked a lot about Kyudou, which I know a lot of people are interested in, but also you are, as I mentioned before, a PR and tourism ambassador for Saitama
yes,
Prefecture.
indeed.
So how did you get that position?
So okay, good question. I live in Saitama, which is north of Tokyo. So from Shinjuku, about 27 minutes.
I don't want to dox you. I used to live there. Never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Well, I'll ask you afterwards. But
Urawa, I live in Urawa. And
She's like, no, it's fine, guys.
no, it's been on TV and whatever.
Oh, sure.
So basically, I've lived there. The reason I lived there originally was because I got married. So my husband is from there, Japanese guy.
Okay.
So I moved there, and after living there for a little while, I thought, hey, I have this small following on social media. I'm on TV. I do talk about New Zealand, but wouldn't it be cool to talk about the area that I live in? And I live in Saitama City, but there's also Saitama Prefecture, like it's a region. It's massive. And I contacted the prefectural government, and I said, hey, so I want to help to promote your prefecture. And they're like, come in and talk to us. And I got a
They
job.
didn't have anyone at the time who was doing it?
They had a couple of Saitama University students, and they were using, because they speak all different languages. So they had one person for different languages, and that kind of disappeared the year after I started. But now it's just me, and PR and tourism, helping out. And actually, I did an event yesterday in Tokyo, and the mayor of the prefecture came, and inbound tourism started up again. So now
Yeah.
I have a busy job.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, because I was kind of wondering, like, about how much of your time does that like consume, or like what do your duties entail for that
Right.
work?
So duties are to, I just choose a place I want to visit and go visit it, write about it in English. They have a website,
Sure.
which I'm kind of like, website, like who's going to look at it? So I put it on social media.
You're right. Yeah. the objectively correct place to put it, right? Yeah,
you can fax it to everybody, but right, like. Anyway, so I put it on social media. You'll see some of my Instagram posts are like visiting Katanakaji, which is a sword maker. And he's based in Saitama. So that was part of it. And I'll be wearing my little uniform and doing bonsai, doing like all these kind of traditional experiences. And so I go visit and then talk about it in English and Japanese online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Saitama, as far as I live there as well. I'm in Wakoshi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm Giri Giri Tokyo.
It's true.
But as far as that, Saitama is known as Dai Saitama in some cultures to Japanese
Yep.
people, which basically means lame.
Yeah,
Saitama.
Dasai
isn't it?
Dasai means
Saitama.
lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to-
Everybody on Saitama, right? Everybody's really mean.
So please explain why and how to avert that. Like, I mean, what
There's
was
also
your
Little
opinion
Edo.
on it?
There's also Little Edo, but
Little
is that
Edo's adorable.
amongst Japanese or foreigners?
Little Edo, Kawagoe
Kawagoe.
is
Oh.
Koedo.
I used to live in Kawagoe.
Dude, it's
and
so rad.
Kawagoe is not bad. Okay, Kawagoe is pretty good. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
We
Kawagoe
went to
is the
school
bomb,
there,
man.
so-
Kawagoe
Oh, you went to
is like-
school in Kawagoe?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you
Oh,
learned
wow.
some
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kawagoe is
Kawagoe
great.
rocks.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
great. But the only issue for
Yeah.
me was like to get to like Takanoobaba, it was like 40 minutes straight on a
Right.
train with nothing in
So,
between.
yeah, it's pretty
So that's why you moved.
Yeah, that's why I moved because I had to go into the city
Tell
for.
everybody.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell everyone where I moved, but yeah, like, I got out of there. I needed to do like auditions and stuff in the city, and
Yeah.
like
this is the thing,
Yeah,
right? It
yeah.
takes about an hour.
It takes an hour, and
Yeah.
it doubles up when you go to and
Right?
from. It's
Yes.
exhausting. Like
Early starts are very difficult,
Yeah,
and late
yeah.
nights and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Definitely. So, dasai means lame, as you said. But it's kind of, I don't know, people love to like do that. Because Kanagawa, Greater Tokyo is Kanagawa and Tochigi, Chiba and Saitama. So Chiba and Kanagawa, they have these beaches. They're damn beaches. Saitama doesn't have ocean or a beach. And they just have dams and mountains and rivers. And yeah, people, they like to poke fun at that. There's not a whole big, wide, exciting environment like other prefectures. So they're just jealous and they have to be mean about it, I think. Yeah. But when you live, if you live there, I think
it's a great
make the
place.
most of what
It's
you
great.
have.
Uh,
Yeah.
right. How big was your social media following when you approached them to like try and secure this position?
Not that. I didn't even have like 10K, I don't think.
Oh, they hired you as the ambassador and you didn't even have 10K?
No, because at the time they were like, "What's social?" Honestly.
Oh no.
Honestly,
Okay.
the government. Are you kidding me?
They
They're
don't
just
even
like,
know the internet exists.
yeah.
So,
So I explained to them like, I do this dojo and I got this award and 29 different countries throughout the world came to visit us to do Kyudou, and they're like, "How did you get that?" Like, I'm like, Instagram. And they're like, "What? Just from Instagram?" I'm like, yeah, man. Like, social media is so powerful right now, and it just blew their minds. They have an Instagram account, but it's very like today's photo. Today's photo. So it's quite. So I'm trying to change that a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I get it for sure. I've done the same thing, like kind of revamping an Instagram, look at all the competitors, and it's just like it's like an 80-year-old person. Like, this is what I think an Instagram post should look like, and it's just the tackiest, just like text on like a plain blue background. It's impossible to explain. You have to look at it. I'm sure you can see it in your head, but
yeah, no hashtags.
No hashtags, no nothing.
So it's like
No.
such a waste. So that's why I'm trying to, and I do suggest to them, and I'm giving them strong critical feedback about how to like improve everything and make it better. So
Do you
yeah.
partner with other tourism ambassadors from other prefectures?
No.
those are sharp nope.
but I should. And I don't know. I if it's martial arts related or traditional culture related, then I will go anywhere in Japan, because that's really what my fate is about, and it's about introducing like unique and interesting things that everybody can do. However, whenever possible, I try to do Saitama.
That makes sense.
And also, sorry, where if you don't want to talk about like money in any capacity,
Oh, yeah,
that's
we can
totally
talk
fine.
about money.
Oh, let's talk about money.
about
I love to
money.
talk about money. So, what does like the compensation look like for that? Like, is that more like freelance
Konbini,
work?
it's like konbini baito. It's
Oh.
about the same as
Yeah, like
part-time
most
work at the
yep.
convenience store.
Yeah, I get it. Like, it
$10
sounds
an hour.
such a glamorous title, and like, wow, you must make a lot of money. You're like, well, I get like maybe saying an hour equivalent.
So in terms of everything that you see in sort of my whole life, obviously the dojo that I help run is volunteer. And then the ambassador work is depending on the job. There are not that many per year, maybe 4 or 5 places I visit in the whole year.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have a budget because they're
Yeah.
Japanese government.
Correct.
And that's budgeted out. And then TV work as well. Yeah, about the same as convenience store
Yeah.
hourly wage.
Yeah.
Because you'll do 8 or 10 hours for, about $10 or $12 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched this anime recently called Oshinoko. Did you watch it? So it's very deep
She
about
said
like,
before she's.
it's I'm
She's not a weeb, remember? That's
You can watch it and not be a weeb, okay, guys?
I don't know if that's the case.
Steak
I
and
think
lime.
you have to be a weeb. No, I'm kidding.
So this show, like, it's got a supernatural element, but it delves very deeply into like idol culture and actor culture.
My kids watch it, I think.
And it's very accurate. Like, we watched this episode, or there's a scene about being on set
Yeah.
and like filming like this little drama. I'm like, these people know this is incredibly accurate. Like all the catty stuff that happens in the background, just what it's like being on set, they capture it very well. But early in like the first episode, being an idol, like one of the main characters like works so hard, and she's like, "How much did I get?" I was like, $2,000, and she's like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, this is convenience store wages. Like it looks so glamorous on the outside, but you
But
can like crush it and make that."
Yeah, Japanese talent agencies are pretty
They take like 50%, man. Like it's a
Oh
lot.
yes, 50%, and for foreigners 50%. But you'll get like Yoshimoto Kogyo is a Japanese talent agency for comedians. So like Watanabe Naomi-san, Watanabe Naomi is with Yoshimoto Kogyo, and she was saying like each time she'd be on, 500 yen. That's like one coin. Because that's the stipulated wage, and then your extras, your things like advertisements, selling, goods, which are like she has a clothing brand and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
They do take a cut of it, but it's mostly hers. So like this basic salary that they have, it's
It's a lunchbox.
It's
It's
Just a bento right there.
And the ironic thing is the lunchboxes they give you aren't that good, right?
no, yes. I read that question.
You read that question,
I
yeah.
read that question.
So what is the best or worst bento you've ever had?
So the worst one, I laughed when I read that question because I was like, damn, I know exactly what I'm going to say. I was at TBS, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And they gave us a curry rice, curry lunchbox. And honestly, like, it was so spicy. I'm cool with spicy, like, normally, but you're just about to go out into a TV show and film for, 5 or 6 hours straight. So you're gonna be, like, curried up. You're going to stink. The people next to you are gonna stink.
I know, right?
Bro,
Oh my god.
like give me a break. And the whole thing, it was just curry. There was no other option. So I was like, I just couldn't eat it. But so curry, and it was spicy, and everyone was like yellow, and it stinks. And I was like, man, why did they choose that? Like, curry's good. I love it, but just not right before you go on air.
No, I could not agree more. And that sounds like a
It's pretty bad.
pretty rancid bento for sure. I mean, like, fine at home, but like before you're about to work, right? And then it's all like full in your tummy. Like, curry rice is heavy, man.
Yeah.
What if you got to go to the bathroom? You're shooting for 5 hours or more.
Yeah, you're not allowed. Diapers.
I think the thing that people really like the most about you is that your content comes across very genuine.
Oh,
And
thank you.
even when
That's
I,
nice.
first saw you, I was like, I think she's doing it because she genuinely likes this.
Yeah.
Like, I can see it through the photos. I
that's
can't say
good.
that
Yeah.
for many people.
Oh,
Either
really?
they're, I'm not talking about just Kyudou. I'm saying in general for what people do. They're either doing it for money, they're either doing it for, they're providing the value, but they're expecting something in return, which is fine. But
Yeah.
with you, I really saw that you were really genuine with this,
nice.
and I think people can see that.
I agree
So-
completely.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the things I like are weird. And so when people, this is so interesting and this is really cool. Yeah, it kind of gives me power to keep researching and looking for other things. Because it's genuinely it's a natural kind of thing for me. So I just go with what I like, not someone's offering to get me to post for this amount
Makes
of money or
sense.
whatever. Yeah, so I'm
Makes
just kind of
sense.
all my feed is just led by what I find and timing when it works. I go visit a dojo, try something new, post it up. This is so cool. Like, you can come and try too, kind of thing.
Oh, that's the dream,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
So
Absolutely.
before we wrap up, do you want to say anything to the listeners here specifically?
Do I want to say anything?
Yeah.
Please visit me on social media. And, if you're interested in Japanese culture and traditional things, some weapons here and there, my daily life, I post it on my stories. Not that active on YouTube, but I'm trying. I edit videos on my phone. I need to get a computer.
No. Oh no!
Yeah,
my heart aches for you. Oh my god! Oh jeez.
Right? It's really difficult. But I'm going to try to put more effort into there. But just come follow me if you have questions about anything, even if it's not related to martial arts or history or this and that.
Other than she is married, so not about that question.
I
Right,
am
yeah.
married with 3
All right.
kids. My age is on Wikipedia if you want to know. But yeah, you're welcome to
Or maybe someone could reach out to you
Yeah.
because they want to be your video editor.
Oh, I love that.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
It is-
People
it is-
need that,
Absolutely.
I mean, because you already have so much on your plate. So if you can
Video
offload
editor.
some of
Oh
that.
yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to delegate things.
yeah, all right.
That
So
would be so cool.
if you're a talented video editor, I mean, you know where to go, guys. Like, jobs on the table. It looks like.
yeah, definitely video editor. DM me.
Awesome. Well, Jess, it was fantastic speaking with you today. Thank you very much for coming
Yeah,
on the
thank you for
show.
being
I
here.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Well, that's it, guys. For the Focus on Japan podcast, you can find me anywhere at Lindo Korshe.
You can find me at Caleb the Man Plan, except on YouTube, a Rainfall Review.
And I'm Aaron. I'm at Photo ATV on Instagram.
Nice. And I am JessinTokyo everywhere.
Great. See you guys later.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.